Ora si registrerà la conferenza.
Okay, so welcome everyone. As I said, this is the official first EUMANS meeting in English. From now on, we're going to have a weekly meeting every Thursday at this time, and the goal is start to create and consolidate the connections between European citizens that agree in the vision of humans of a movement of European citizens that act for the respect of the rule of law and the sustainability goals through the activation of participatory democracy instruments. We had in the past months a few dedicated sessions, events, and meetings on different specific initiatives. But from today, the idea is to try to have a space where we can gather together and invite other European citizens to join to start and create a stronger connections among us as Europeans. As you probably know, the core of Humans was kicked off in Italy around 14 months ago. So there is a core and strong Italian group, but now with the beginning of this new year, like a scholastical term, we think the times are mature to start and consolidate this as at a broader European level as humans. Since we don't know each other, I suggest we start the meeting with a quick round of table where every person that is in the meeting can introduce himself or herself. There are a few people that I don't know personally, we don't know personally, so that, as I said, we start to create this group. So I start myself. My name is Virginia Fiume. I'm based in Brussels, and I am the coordinator of Humans. So since last year, I started to work together with Marco Capato on this idea that originally was only an idea of a European citizens movement. And from here, what I try to do is to create the conditions for European citizens to be aware of the initiative that we identified as a starting point for Humans, but also to facilitate the connections and help each citizens who decide to come closer to Humans to know how it works, to help us to make it progressively better. And we are kicking off this phase where in the next weeks it is going to become a possibility to join Humans as members, get access to the broader network, and start to build the movement that we have in mind. I'm Italian, but I lived for 5 years on and off in the UK and in other countries across the world. So, I mean, I'm an Italian with kind of cautious. Marco, I don't know if you want to start maybe by introducing yourself for those who might not know you, but also to maybe share a bit about why we are here today and how we ended up here.
Yes, thank you, Virginia. Hello to everybody. My name is Marco Capato. I'm a former member of the European Parliament and treasurer of Associazione Luca Coscioni, which is an organization in Italy fighting for civil rights and freedom of scientific research. The idea that moved us more than 1 year ago was to create a movement that was at the same time political but non-electoral, with the idea that elections in reality are proving lesser and lesser able to cope with the major problem of our era because of the short-termism or short timing of electoral mandate and electoral campaigns. If we think about climate change or migration or technological revolution, we have to conceive long-term solutions. In order to do that, we think that the activation of the participatory tools is a key element for success, for involving citizens in long-term solutions. During this first 1 year and a half, in a way, we created and decided those initiatives. I started myself and with the discussion with the small groups of people. Now we feel the need of opening EUMANS, enlarging the involvement of people, not only in the campaign, but in conceiving and in selecting priorities for the campaign. So the idea is in the coming days to open EUMANS at 2 levels. On one side, for a membership, we were thinking about like 20 cents, so 73 euros per year for a membership for those that are interested in being a part of the project, but also a free activation online. We call this an activation pact for those who want simply to participate to the initiative. So a double level of enrollment, a level for membership and a level for activists, in order to find the way to discuss, select and conceive the way of activating the popular initiative tools at the European level, but also at national level and at local level. Sorry for having been so long, but this is the new stage of EUMANS that we are preparing and working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. I'm gonna share in the chat the activation pact or agreement. We still need to find the best way to define it. So you must have received it via email, but you can start to have a look. And as I said, maybe we can do a quick round for the others that are in the call to tell us how you ended up here, what you do, who you are, and what are you interested in, and what EUMANS is currently doing.
Well, I can start if you like.
Yes.
Gianni Martino. It's just one Martino. I don't know why it's a double Martino. I'm a so-called expert in sustainable mobility. I actually run in Italy and Spain the largest car sharing operation, internal combustion in Italy and full electric in Spain. And I currently work on the regulatory side of the sharing mobility all across Europe for my company, which is the company which is actually owned by Daimler and BMW, so 2 large industrial groups. That's it.
And you are one of those who answered the questionnaire that we sent out about EUMANS, I think.
Actually, I'm interested, and whatever has to do with sustainability, I've always been involved in sustainability and, let's say, green matters. So I have an interest, I have an attitude. What I do is trying to make urban mobility better and more sustainable. So this is the reason why I'm joining this group, and actually I have a special appreciation for what Marco does. Also on the other side with the Association Coscioni. So I'm a follower, let's say.
Thank you. So in the second part of the meeting, we will focus on the StopGlobalWarming.eu European Citizen Initiative, where it's particularly hot, in all senses, global warming wise, but also in terms of the action that we are carrying on as an organization. So I think you are in the right place and at the right time indeed. We have Luigi Trovato, based in London. We know, but maybe Luigi, you want to say something about yourself?
Yes, Luigi Trovato, I'm based in London. I have background in economics and finance. I worked for 25 years in large investment banks in London. At the moment, I am involved in real estate projects, one in Lisbon, another one in Italy. I met Marco and Virginia through Più Europa, and I am a supporter of EUMANS.
Thank you, Luigi. Antonella, France.
Sì. Hello to everyone. Sorry, I was not able to put the camera because it tells me that it's not possible anymore to activate, but could be next time. So I think you cannot see me. But in any case, I'm Italian, but now I am based in France. And now I don't remember how I met the news about you, but I think I agreed to meet the meeting and to have news about this movement because I'm really interested in everything that involves what is possible to do about the right of animals and about fighting the climate change and the right of European citizens. So I was thinking that could be I can contribute and participate to something to improve a better world in the next year, you know. And I was thinking also at some proposal that I settled down by myself, but could be they can be interesting, could be we can speak about them in the next meetings or in the next periods. So I decided to join you and trying to understand what we can do together, and if I can contribute to something. Yeah.
Thank you, Antonella, and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Gianluca Ravera. Hi, welcome. Okay, super shy.
No, I think Gianluca has the microphone off.
Okay, in the meantime, I'm happy to see with us also Anna Doyle from Ireland, that we are connected to the Citizen Takeover Initiative, and I'm super happy that you're here with us. So hi, Anna, we're doing a round of introductions.
Hi, sorry for being late. I got caught up in doing normal stuff. Yes, so basically I am the Irish ambassador for Civico Europea. And sounds great, no one pays you though. So basically my role is to try and get Irish people to participate more in European democracy and European politics. I'm involved in politics here in Ireland. I'm a socialist, so I'm not always popular, but yeah, we work from ground up democracy. So basically that's my role, is to ensure that people take part and try and encourage as many people to take part. You mainly deal with marginalised youth, people from ethnic minorities and stuff like that in the country, and try and get their voice into the EU Parliament. Besides that, that's me really. Don't really do much else. No, that's about it. Yeah, and obviously taking part in Citizens Take Over Europe. It sounded very cool, but we didn't take anything over yet. But yeah, we'll get there.
Thanks, Anna. So if someone else wants to introduce himself, let's use these 7 minutes before 6:30 to do that, and then let's move to politics.
I may go next.
You
Hello,
can.
everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm Cezary Jurewicz. I represent the International Logic Party and Citizen Assembly. We have the most powerful political networking platform in the world. The purpose of it is to scale the dynamics of a citizen democracy to unlimited size. And the way it does that is by using the technology of the stock market to organize information. So we have this platform, it's called Agora, the Worldwide Stock Market of Ideas, where each person can develop their own political philosophy out of various ideas so that we can show which ideas are most strongly supported by the people, and so we can create political candidates who actually represent what the people think and want. But the essential thing is that we use this technology in our regular decentralized citizen assemblies that anyone can attend, always participate and present their ideas, solicit support for their ideas. And well, that's how we find what the best ideas are. We learn from each other. So I'm looking forward to how we can contribute here to help you guys organize. Thank you.
Thank you, Cezary. Lorenzo, yes.
So, nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Lorenzo Mineo. I'm coordinating mainly the activity of EUMANS in Italy and partially in France. Sorry to everyone for being late in this meeting. I had technological problems with my computer. Anyway, the idea of this building up of the pan-European movement of popular initiative is to build a package of proposals. So at the moment, the two main campaigns that the main campaign that we are running is the one on climate change, Stop Global Warming, a campaign for a European carbon pricing. But of course, we have to, since we are opening this phase of subscription and a new form of the movement, I think we should together think about the main proposals of our political movement. So, for instance, Antonella was mentioning the issue of animal rights, and we also were writing a draft of petition on that issue. So that we should put in touch again, for instance, one of the MEP that were particularly sensitive to this issue, Eleonora Levi. With her, we started a collaboration on that issue. So apart from the campaign that we are running right now on carbon pricing, I think we should be together. We should define this package of proposals, and yeah, this is a good occasion to discuss it. So if there is any other issue particularly sensitive for any of you, I think it's a good idea to discuss it and propose it, start a discussion on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I go. Hi everyone, my name is Octavian Gazia. I'm a second year master's student in international relations here at ULB University in Brussels. I was born in Romania, but I've been raised in Italy. Then I spent 1 year on Erasmus in Paris, and now I'm living here in Brussels. I found out about EUMANS from a friend last year. Then I met Virginia last year in Brussels, and now I'm working with EUMANS as an intern since November. So voilà, here we are.
We have Marco Ferraro from Kiev. I have a vibration from outside of the European Union. So welcome, Marco Ferraro. Okay, let's 3 minutes to close the round. So if anyone wants to introduce himself or herself, and then we go to the agenda.
Let me just say, so there's some feedback from somebody. I think it might be from Anna, or some noise. Someone's not speaking.
Don't think so.
Or not feedback, but just some noise.
I think maybe
it's just my chickens. I'm really sorry about that.
No, I think it was me and Octavian that maybe we had a microphone at the same time. I think now it should be fine. Okay, I guess Giovanni and Marco cannot speak. Roberto, I don't know if you want to say something.
Hello, everybody. My name is Roberto Mancuso. I'm based in Lecce, a small town in the south of Italy, in Puglia, for precision. I met Marco Capato 21 years ago in Bologna, where I was a radical militant of the Radical Party. And now we started this project, EUMANS, which is very important in my opinion, because it's the first step for the building of a new politics. A new politics sorry for my English, first of all.
It's perfect, Robbie.
The center of the new method for to start politics actions, political actions. I trust in non-violence, in civil disobedience, and I think that EUMANS and Marco Capato represent this kind of politics. So I'm very happy to stay here and to give my contribution for the construction of this European movement.
Thank you, Roberto. And if I can add on that, Roberto is also the activist that voluntarily put his energies in building the website that you see, EUMANS.eu. Basically, 99.9% of everything that you see coming out of EUMANS is based on the work of volunteers and activists that put their capacity to try and create this. So Roberto made possible to have a website, and will work also together with us on the evolution of the website, which will allow the discussion and elaboration of initiatives together through also the website EUMANS.eu and the activation agreement that we were discussing earlier. So tonight is the first weekly meeting. The idea is that each meeting has a bit of an agenda, but of course at the beginning we need to know each other and kind of welcome new people. So it might feel unstructured, but it's just because we need to kind of start. And so as a starting point, as Marco was mentioning, there are two layers. One is the membership process and the activation part of EUMANS, but the second part, which is more political, is one of the core initiatives that EUMANS has at its center at the moment, which is StopGlobalWarming.eu. For those of you who don't know everything about it, it's a European citizen initiative. So it's based on a collection of signatures, 1 million signatures, to officially present a proposal to the European Union. So it's the activation of a participatory democracy instrument, the European Citizen Initiative, for a political goal, which is carbon pricing in the European Union. We launched the campaign more than 1 year ago. Usually the European Citizen Initiative has 1 year to collect the 1 million signatures. However, due to the COVID emergency, the Commission granted an extension in the collection of signatures that is going to allow us to keep this happening until the 21st of January. Currently, we collected 40,400 signatures or something like that, which is, of course, very far away from the goal of the 1 million signatures. we will see probably in the next meetings, and also if you look at the Council on Participatory Democracy and other initiatives and stuff that are on the website, there are multiple reasons why the number of signatures is so low. But on the other side, for an organization that is really based on citizens activation, it's a good result. The interesting political element is that carbon pricing is not an impossible goal to achieve. It's currently in the agenda of the European Commission. The European Council itself discussed it, and the European Parliament. And on the 24th and the 25th of September, there will be the next EU summit. So what we are trying to organize is the largest possible mobilization for the 23rd of September to try to bring together all of the people across Europe, potentially, that are in favor of carbon pricing policy. We did other type of actions like this, particularly back on the 5th of June during the World Environment Day. In that occasion, the consensus that we gathered was more from people in the culture, media, intellectual world. The goal now is to strengthen the political support to the initiative. So I'm going to share in the link now a bit of a concept note of the type of action that we are preparing. But currently the initiative is supported by 3 former EU commissioners, a few members of the European Parliament, and a few MPs, particularly in Belgium, France, and Italy, plus mayors of a few European cities, one of which is Dublin. So Anna might be happy to know that the mayor of Dublin supports the initiative, but also the mayor of Palermo, Leoluca Orlando. Palermo is a city in the south of Italy. Palermo is the first European city to have a local motion to support the European Citizens Initiative StopGlobalWarming.eu. What it means that the Council is now committed to inform the European citizens living in Palermo about the possibility to sign and support the European Citizen Initiative. Information is, of course, a key element for the activation of participatory democracy instruments. So one of the goals that we have, and we hope you can embrace, is to try to convince more European mayors to take a stand for carbon pricing on one side, but also to inform their communities about these type of instruments. So the purpose of tonight is to share a bit, to have an exchange, because as I said, we don't know each other, so have an exchange on this action day, which is going to be articulated into increasing the number of political supporters of StopGlobalWarming.eu on one side, bringing them together in the in a same day, the 23rd of September, and associating to that also a demonstrative action that is taking shape with a small group of us to associate to that, with the goal of talking to the European leaders during the European Summit for that. It might be worth to mention that Carbon Market Watch, which is an interesting umbrella organization focused on carbon market policies, and Climate Action Networks are in different ways on board for this mobilization. And this is, of course, very important because it's gonna help us to show that carbon pricing is a solution or a part of a solution to the climate emergency, and also to have citizens and civil society organizations join together for one day for the carbon market, for the carbon pricing policy. So, of course, this is part of other initiatives, but I don't want to take too much time, and I just wanted to share this as the first moment of conversation around this action. And then I see a comment from Antonella. What about the campaign collecting signatures with avatars or take to action? In reality, I tried once, but then I discovered that it was up to me to spread it around and to find the correct image to send. Okay, I'm not sure I understand. You mentioned avatars and other platforms. I just want to make sure for all of us that the difference of a European Citizen Initiative is that it's a collection of signatures that is done in such a way that there's an official hook for the European institution. So it's not a simple petition, but it's an official participatory democracy instrument, meaning that the signatures that we collect will help to achieve this 1 million target, which is set by the Commission to evaluate the proposal. So that's one of the difference of this type of activation.
Okay, so the petition from AVATS or Care to Action, they are not meaning anything to institution, because always I see these petitions, you know, I was thinking they send too many institution. It's not, it's different, you say, I don't know.
I mean,
but also, I tried once, it was only a suggestion. I tried once because I was thinking that then through their website you can collect signature to spread the petition, no? That they send that to everybody, then everyone is free to sign or not. But finally I discovered that they don't send the petition of people, they send only their petitions. So I didn't know how to spread the petition around, you know. This was the point. I don't know if you know something about that. It was only a suggestion and something that came to my mind about the signature. Okay.
So if I can go back to the campaign Stop Global Warming, I think it's the perfect example of what is missing now, because on one side, public opinion is mobilized. We had Fridays for Future demonstrations with tens of millions of people demonstrating around Europe, and even the European Commission and the European Cesare, sorry, why are you showing your panel while I'm speaking?
I'm demonstrating. It's a demonstration. I'm telling you to control your government.
Okay, but you can tell us, and that's it. Okay, it's not a TV show. It's a meeting.
Yes, it is, and I have my visual aids with me.
No, I understand. Okay, control your government. We understood, but it's distracting if I speak and I see a person with a panel. I can suspect that he's not listening what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm listening.
So if you want to speak, you can speak. You have the floor. Go for it.
Well, what I would suggest is that instead of begging the politicians to do what
but I was joking. I was speaking. You know.
Oh.
So you ask for the floor, and it's not like that. It's a meeting. So I am speaking, you listen, and when you speak, I listen. It's a quite an ordinary game with specific rules. Okay,
well,
if you demonstrate with the panel, I can get your demonstration against me, and I hope it's not. Okay.
Listen, let me just say I have a little bit of doubts about the capacity.
So you will express your doubt, but the fact that you have doubt doesn't give to you the right to interrupt or distract people while they're speaking. You know.
I did not interrupt. I was just.
No, you distract. I said interrupt or distract. Okay. So if I can finish what I was saying, then you will, of course, then say that all this is useless. But the fact that you are always with us means that probably you find useful, even if you say it is useless. What I was saying is that on one side you have movement with millions of people in the streets that are not succeeding in having their agenda passing through the institutions. On the other side, you have the European Union government that in principle, they could also be in favor of having measures against climate change, but then at the European level, some national government can always exert their veto power to block decisions. So what is missing, in my opinion, is something that from bottom up, so from citizens, is able not only of putting pressure on institutions, but presenting specific political proposals, not through elections, but through the activation of institutionalized participation tools, participatory democracy tools. So this StopGlobalWarming.eu campaign is exactly an example of what could be done through the participatory democracy tools. We have on one side movement without politics, on the other side politics without people, and we have to fight to create a connection, to create a link among these two levels. So I hope that if by September 24, so when the council meeting is foreseen, we will be able to enlarge the group of personality who have signed the proposal. So 3 former European commissioners, the mayor of Dublin and Palermo, members of parliament, personalities and so on. We could try to put the issue of carbon pricing on the agenda. 27 Nobel laureates already indicated how important it is to give a price on carbon, but there is a huge gap between the scientific community and the political community in trying to put in practice this very simple proposal. So this was my point, because I think that this campaign is emblematic on how humans could work, with the difference that in the future we should involve activists not only in the campaign, but also in the preparation of the campaign, in the selection of the issues that are more urgent to be dealt, and this could become a real pan-European movement of a citizens' initiative. Thank you very much also to everybody, but also to Cesare for the patience of listening to me, and then, of course, you can speak and everybody will listen you without violence.
I speak now. Well, I have this crazy idea. I think we should elect into governments politicians who are not the prostitutes of the oligarchs. Like politicians who actually work for the people, not for the oligarchs. And the way we do that is actually really by making everything that Marco was just talking about, by doing that. But see, but we have this technology that does exactly that. And it's tremendously efficient. It's tens, if not hundreds of times more efficient at organizing all of that information and turning that into a meaningful output. Now, I already briefly explained what our platform does. There is, of course, a lot more to it. But here's what's essential about our technology. Because like I said, every person develops their own political philosophy out of various ideas. So we can show which ideas are most strongly supported by the people. So then algorithmically, we can create a list of political candidates who represent the will of the people. And if they don't perform to the expectations and the desires of the people, guess what? We have a whole list of people ready to replace them with. It actually makes being a corrupt politician very unprofitable, because whatever connections and deals you make, they all just go right out the window because the algorithm replaces you. But the one point, because see, a lot of people don't, like, still, for some reason, they still don't get that. And the one point I want to say about that is our system does not require anyone to do what they should not already be doing as responsible citizens. And number one, that is developing your political philosophy. How can a person who does not have a specific political philosophy ever criticize their government? They have no basis of comparison. It's just empty complaining. So a citizen, a responsible citizen, has to develop their own political philosophy so that It's their list of demands, their list of expectations, their list of their knowledge of how things should work. All right, second, if a responsible citizen does that, next step for them to do is to publish it. Okay, you've done all the work of, of developing your political philosophy. Assuming you've done good work, if you publish it, other people can learn from you. You've done great work. Now other people can benefit from that work. But if you made mistakes, guess what? Now, if you publish your work, other people can find your mistakes and they can correct your mistakes. They can tell you about your mistakes. And then the third thing is that as responsible citizens who have developed our own political philosophies and have published them, we should all come together regularly with other responsible citizens who are doing the same thing and actually deliberate our political philosophies to really, to really complete that whole cycle. That's exactly what we do. In Citizen Assembly, that is exactly what this is all about. But like I said, we're using this technology that actually integrates all of this information into a meaningful output that shows what the public will really is, what the people really think and want, and then we create political candidates out of that. We replace them.
Sorry, you are talking about this technology since months. So are you posing to yourself the problem of why your idea didn't take off?
It is taking off. I see that I find that really interesting that you would even make such a snobby comment, because you've never attended our Citizen Assembly. Virginia said she would. She gave her word that she would. She told me that she would, but she didn't. I mean, I find that actually very undemocratic. But
not tell us about us. Tell us about results, because you cannot reproach to the people that they do not participate to something that you organize. You have to show people that what you are doing is effective. So you keep on repeating the same thing. But okay, we understood. You have a simple magic tool to resolve all the problems of the world. So resolve them. You get the point?
Listen, you wanted examples? You're seeing it right there. You're seeing that in yourself. Instead of actually coming to our Citizen Assembly and trying it, you're sitting on the sideline and criticizing why it doesn't work. I mean, it's like a tool. It's like criticizing a hammer. It's like criticizing a hammer for not pounding the nail into the wall by itself. I give you the hammer, and if you don't take the hammer and pound the nail into the wall, it's not going to pound the nail into the wall. I mean, that's your attitude. I'm giving you a tool to do with democracy, and you refusing to do democracy does not disprove the validity and the effectiveness of the tool. It just simply means you're reluctant to do the job that you should be doing.
Okay, I mean, Cesare, let's give the floor to Anna, who was trying to say something.
Hi, okay, right. I've been to citizen assemblies, not your one. I've organized my own. They're quite common in Ireland. We use them all of the time, from everything from water charges to everything from political movements it takes to the streets in Ireland. That's what we do. That's how we do democracy, okay? We still have right-wing idiots in power. We still have people trying to publish books that never get read, putting forward their political philosophy, because basically these people do not engage with the public because they think they're beyond it, just exactly as you sitting there. And I don't mean to be rude, but you sound so exceptionally arrogant. Why would anybody want to read your book? So how about instead of sitting there and preaching, why don't you get down there to grassroots politics and get involved? Because that is the only way to change the world. End of.
Just to add some points, also because, as I said, this is the first meeting, so we need to get a bit attuned and define our own functioning. But what Cesare did, it's totally fine, which is coming to a meeting, bringing your own ideas. It can be also initiatives that you are working on, like, for example, in a couple of meetings we had the Voters Without Border European Citizen Initiative, which was launched yesterday, and the whole idea of EUMANS is to allow everyone to share their initiatives, and also for active, like, we don't think the solution is a sort of promise to a movement, but is more a space where people can exchange things. So if someone is interested in what Cesare is suggesting, feel free to look up for it. As the coordinator of EUMANS, I really cannot take the responsibility of being everywhere, but I encourage everyone to share and connect to each other. But to one point that Cesare made and also Antonella was making, so I don't think the purpose of the movement and the activation of citizens is to become candidates at the elections. The whole idea is how we can achieve specific goals around, as we mentioned, the rule of law, sustainability, the environment, civil rights, and other things through the activation of participatory democracy instruments to help those that are already elected and candidates somewhere to have the strength of proposing some ideas and some proposal that might not be in the electoral programs. So carbon pricing is an example. And to go back to Antonella's point, I don't know exactly what Avats or Change.org do with their petitions. Probably they are a way to put pressure on institutions, because you ask for something and you show that millions of citizens have signed. The difference of the, let's call it, participatory democracy instruments, as by definition, it's that they are provided by the European Treaty in the case of the European Citizen Initiative or the petitions to the European Parliament, or like the referenda in national states. So it's the constitution or the regulation of a country or a sovereign national entity like the European Union or a local administration to have something that allows officially the citizens to ask for something to that layer of the government. So in that case, the officiality is because there are rules in the rules that help the change happen through the activation of these instruments. So that's one of the key differences. And that's when we promote the StopGlobalWarming.eu initiative. It's not just a signature, it's a signatures that will bring us, all of us, in front of the European Commission to present our case. So that's a key element of how we think, the reason why we are creating this type of movement. So just to try and start a discussion around this as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
We had an initiative called the 1x1 initiative back in 2016 during the local elections. And it was a group who wanted to do exactly as you were doing. And that's the one that's actually sitting in the dog gathering dust at the moment. So, like one of the questions that they would use when we would push the citizens initiated agendas and citizens initiated petitions, that would be like they'd be too costly, and you know, like that somebody would be disgruntled with one company or one aspect of the Department of Education or something, and will cause a petition and cost a fortune. And like we have lots of referendums and we have lots, and they do cost a lot of money. And I like there was never any way of getting around that one major point of how much it would actually cost to hold that referendum if you were to have the one initiative set up by one citizen who collected enough signatures. Have you come across that argument? Or
do you mean just to understand, if I understand the question, do you mean the cost, for example, for a referendum for the public administration, let's say, to then run the thing?
Yeah. That's always been the government's argument against it here. Like we had a huge push on it back in the 2016 local elections, and the majority of candidates who ran had signed up for the initiative for citizens and put forward referendums. So basically, if you collected enough signatures, that the government then would have to hold a referendum on whatever it was you put forward regardless of your politics, regardless of where you stood on the politics or whatever, once you got enough signatures yourself, had to be 1 million signatures. So basically the government now is saying like the sheer costs of that, because people in Ireland are really, really political, and they would go out and get 1 million signatures, no bother to them. Like we have people on street corners collecting petitions all day, every day, and it's like a hobby. So, like they were saying, like a sheer volume of cost of if every petition that came in, if it was to dictate a change of law that would have to be held as a citizens initiated referendum, that would actually cost far too much money to go that forward.
I don't know if anyone has an answer, but I think the topic of the cost of participatory democracy is an interesting angle. In the case of the European level, the cost, to be honest, is only on the citizens who activate the initiative, because differently from electoral politics, there is no funding for kind of carrying on an initiative, so everything is self-funded, and that's why a lot of the ECI that gained success, meaning the 1 million signatures, usually were built within groups that were already had a big base. Like the Right to Water was mainly trade unions led, the One of Us was mainly Catholic movements led. So I think that it's more interesting to see the way how we started to analyze is more how citizens should be helped carry on these initiatives. In terms of the cost of when it happens, maybe Lorenzo, I don't know if you want to say something about Italy and the possibility to sign online, like the whole issue of referenda in Italy, and how it's kind of, we are trying to do stuff to reduce the cost, allowing citizens, for example, to collect signatures online or stuff like that. I don't know if it's maybe, I mean, I think it's a stepping stone. We can't cover the topic now, but we can try to put it
yeah, okay. We are running a campaign in Italy. We want to launch this campaign in the next months. It's a proposal of law of popular initiative. So we need to collect 50,000 signatures in the country to propose the law to the parliament, and the objective is to promote this instrument of citizen assembly in Italy, so to have this kind of consultative body composed by citizens selected randomly. And so we are running this campaign. We will have a meeting next week with Italian activists. Of course, we are also trying to, in a dialogue with other organizations, part of the Citizens Takeover Europe coalition, trying to propose this at the European level, to have the first European Citizen Assembly. At the moment, it's just a project, an ambition, but with this other organization, we try to write a blueprint, to like a manifesto for a European Citizen Assembly, and we will see if we will get funding. Maybe this could be also a real project.
Overall, I think the topic of participatory democracy with the angle of the cost for the political system, I think it's interesting. It's also interesting to analyze the lack of decision making of governments and stuff, and so how much it costs not to carry a referendum on maybe some topics that can. So I mean, I think it's an interesting angle, Anna. Okay, I know that Marco has another meeting soon. If it's fine for you guys, we will send you out the recording of this meeting and some of the topics that we tackled. And the meeting, as I said, is every Thursday, so at the same time, at the same link. But let me know if maybe you want somehow to start to be connected with each other. I will send you the main actions that we're working on, so to get your feedback. And I think, Anna, in particular, maybe I'll give you a call to understand some stuff about Ireland. And if you have in mind any group or organization that might be interested in the climate specific actions, it would be interesting to get your perspective.
Yeah, there is a few, all right, who wanted to learn a bit more about it. So yeah, I mean, look forward to that call, Mikhail.
Cool. Cesare, you can close the meeting of humans.
Well, I was hoping it really wouldn't be the closing. Really, what I'd like to do is to give a presentation. If you could keep the room open. I don't know, am I getting static, or is it, are you guys getting
Let's do
static?
like this. You put all the information. If someone is interested in having a look, they can join and contact you. But we need to close the meeting. But people know who you. So guys, if you want to know more, and when we will have the registration system on the website, you will be free to create a small community around your instrument if you want, and see if there is kind of momentum to that. But I wouldn't allocate time of the meeting on the demo at this stage.
Well, I invite you all to join us at the Citizen Assembly. That's happening regularly, available to everybody, as democracy should be. I've shared the information in the chat, but I will share it again. We meet twice a week, although the Sunday meetings are intended for new people to familiarize them with our technology, and then the Thursday meetings tend to be a much deeper examinations of specific ideas that are led by somebody who wants to propose a certain solution. So you're welcome to join us today in 2 hours or on Sunday at the same time.
Thank you, Cesare. And for everyone in the meeting, I mean, you already have my email address, but if you want to drop me a line also with your feedback on the meeting, ideas on how this could work. As we said at the beginning, this is a starting point. So the idea is to create an environment where everyone feels it's helpful to be. So please send me any ideas, feedback and stuff. And tomorrow I will send you all the materials about the actions specifically that we discussed today. Thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.